2010년 하반기 스타크래프트2와 함께 탄생한 GSL. 세 번의 프리시즌을 마치고 이제는 정규 리그다. 만 12세 이상이라면 누구나 참가할 수 있는 열린 대회. 모두를 향해 열려 있었던 바로 이 스타크래프트2 오픈에는 매 시즌 2천여 명의 예선 참가자가 몰리며 성황을 이뤘다. 저그의 약세가 두드러졌던 시즌1을 기억하는가? 시즌1의 우승자를 기억하는가? 저그의 희망, 모두의 희망. 과일장수 김원기가 우승을 차지했던 그 순간을 기억하는가? 첫 시즌부터 이변에 나왔던 김원기의 우승은 스타크래프트2 리그의 첫 페이지를 장식했으며, 뜨거운 열기와 함께 다시 돌아온 시즌2는 그들이 있어 행복할 수 있었다. 잊을 수 없는 만인의 그분, 슬레이어스 박서 임요환. 천재 테란에 귀한 OGS 나다 이윤열. 스타크래프트 레전드의 등장에 흥분치 않을 수 없었고, 새로이 합류한 전직 프로게이머들은 눈부신 활약을 선보였다. 그 결과 다시 한번 테란을 무찌르고 꿈을 이룬 이가 있었으니 명탕점 IM 네스티 임재덕. 시즌2의 우승으로 그는 10년 무명의 서름을 단번에 몰아냈으며, 11월에 막을 올린 마지막 시즌에서도 8강까지 진출하는 위험을 드러냈다. 모두를 아쉽게 만들었던 마지막 시즌에서는 양치아점, 헤이더 후세인, 요스, 조나단, 그렉 필즈 등 여러 해외 선수들이 그동안 느낄 수 없었던 전율을 선사했고, 세 시즌 연속 8강에서는 모습을 볼 수 없었던 프로토스 종족이 우승을 차지했으니, 마지막 시즌 모두의 히어로로 등극한 OGS MC 장민철. 그는 프리시즌의 역사에 한 획을 그었다. 그리고 마침내 오늘이 왔다. 총 3시즌 경합을 벌인 결과 2011년에 첫 리그를 장식할 32명의 코드 S와 32명의 코드 A가 탄생. 그동안 승부사의 기질을 마음껏 펼쳐보였던 코드 S와 코드 A가 다시 한번 승리를 위해 무대에 오른다. 모두가 그토록 원했던 2011 GSL. 2011년 1월 2일 그 대망의 막을 올린다.
그리고 스타크래프트2의 첫 정규리그도 힘차게 막을 올립니다. 곰TV를 통해 전세계 180개국으로 동시에 생중계되고 있는 2011 소니슨 GSL 제뉴얼이 GSL 투어의 시작을 알리는 개막전으로 이현주 인사드립니다. 반갑습니다. 네, 2011년 한 해를 알리는 새로운 태양이 떠오르고, 이곳 장충체육관에는 e스포츠의 새로운 역사를 알리는 뜻깊은 하루가 시작됐습니다. 새로운 신화 속의 새로운 영웅들이 앞으로 GSL 투어를 통해 1년간의 대장정을 시작하게 될 텐데요. 자, 무척이나 감개무량한 하루입니다. 자, 지난 2010년 세 차례에 걸친 GSL 프리시즌을 통해 우리는 그 순간 함께 웃고 절대적인 감동의 순간을 함께 했었죠. 그리고 이제 드디어 본격적인 GSL 투어가 시작됩니다. 그 첫 포문을 열게 되는 2011 소니슨 GSL 제뉴얼이는 그간 오픈 대회를 통해서 자신의 실력을 여과 없이 드러냈던 총 64명의 선수들, 그 안에서 32명의 코드 S와 32명의 코드 A로 나뉘어서 한 달 동안의 경기를, 뜨거운 명승부를 펼칠 예정인데요. 자, 과연 어떤 경기들이 우리를 흥분시키고 우리가 왜 게임을 사랑할 수밖에 없는지 그 오이를 깨닫게 해줄지 벌써부터 큰 기대를 하지 않을 수가 없겠습니다. 전 세계 스타크래프트2 팬 여러분들과 함께합니다. 그리고 저희 GSL은 항상 스타크래프트2를 사랑하시는 모든 팬 여러분들을 열렬히 지지하고 있습니다. 역대 최대 규모의 상금을 자랑하는 소니슨 GSL. 이제 새로운 신화 탄생의 장이 지금 펼쳐집니다.
그동안의 승부는 전초전에 불과했다. 스타크래프트2가 써내려가는 새로운 신화, 바로 그 신화 속에서 빛을 발할 1인. 오늘 32명이 겨루는 진검승부의 장이 펼쳐지고 그들은 다시 한번 서로에게 창을 겨눈다. 과연 새로운 신화 속 주인공은 누가 될 것인지. 2011년에 열린 e스포츠의 또 다른 문, 글로벌 스타크래프트2 리그 GSL, 그 대망의 막이 열린다.
추리조그 I am Nestea 임재도. 엘리트 테란 볼트 프라임 위 최성훈. 신이 내린 재능 마카 프라임 위 곽한올. 최고를 향해 The best for you 김찬민. 저그의 헌신 TSA 파일 장수 김원기. 테란의 비기 I am MVP 정종현. 운영의 마술사 OGS 제니어 최정민. 돌킬러 OGS 죽토 조만형. 판타지 프로토스 홍은 프라임 위 안홍우. 바람쪽 오지스토 윈 박상희. 황제 슬레이어스 박서 임요환. 스카이테라 오지스 하이퍼더 김유종. 호구테라 TSL 레인 박소용. 주술 토스 조야 포유 이형석. 검투사 쪽 제넥스 킥스 한준. 강철 토스 DSL 사기수 서기수. 관상의 컨트롤 스타테일 레인보우 김성재. 초감각적 리녹 포유 이동영. 프로토스의 정석 NSP 지니어스 정민수. 역발상 프로토스 애니프로 프라임 위 이정환. 부통령 OGS MC 장민철. 천재 테라 OGS 나다 이윤열. 익스트림 프로토스 OGS 인카 송준형. 날카로움의 미학 산제니스 강초원. 해병왕 프라임 위 이정훈. 백펀치 테란 DS 클라이드 한규종. 영광을 위한 재도전 제넥스 Live Forever 김태환. 운영 프로토스 슬레이어 사피로 김경수.
그 상태로 그 바람 로이
철벽 테랑 OGS 인스네어 김상철. 저그의 위험 잭 프라임 위 이형주. 유럽 테란의 자존심 리퀴드 진로 조나단 월시. 벽안의 전사 이지 아이드라 그렉필드.
자, 이제 2011년을 빛낼 32명의 영웅, 그들의 첫걸음이 시작됩니다.
Real tears don't We'll see you all next time round. Bring the final curtain down. After the movies run, under the setting sun, all is done and comes to rest. Say goodbye to the wild, wild west. Hit the lights and kill the sound.
Greetings from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Code S. I am Tasteless, and with me is Artosis. Brother, how are you doing?
I am so happy to be back, Tasteless, but I am jealous. Where are our flames?
I want some flames up here. That was a pretty sick intro. We're, of course, showing you all the players that will be participating in the GSL Code S. Only 32 players.
Yeah.
Not easy to get to this position here. If you're new with us here at GoM TV and you haven't seen previous GSLs, we went through 3 seasons to get these guys here today. These are the players that performed the best. They got the furthest in the tournament, and now we've taken them all, put them together to make the most elite baller badass tournament you could possibly have.
That's it, man. Code S. And by the way, Happy New Year's, Happy Holidays to everyone.
Happy New Year's, guys.
Yeah. It's been too long. I've missed you. Have you missed me?
I missed you guys. I missed casting, but it was a good Christmas. And we're going to start the new year off the right way with an even more advanced tournament here. So much more notoriety on the line.
Yeah.
StarCraft 2 still in its infant stages of esports as we are just pushing forward. These guys have shown us how to play. They've shown us the best strategies. And now, we're going to see the even better stuff coming up here in Code S.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot less of, the bad games that we see every now and then in the first 3 GSLs.
Yeah.
Let's not lie to ourselves. There were some bad games, but these are the elites, most of them at least.
Yeah.
And it's pretty brutal to even stay in the Code S. There could be up to 8 people rotating out every single time.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Now, guys, we're going to have a quick interview here with David Kim. Of course, if you followed the StarCraft development at all, you know who that is. He was one of the he played a huge role in creating StarCraft 2 and Balance It, so watch that now.
My name is David Kim. I'm working as a game balance designer on the StarCraft 2 team. The preliminaries included so many good players playing. Only the very best players made it to the finals. It was very interesting to see how every player had his own personal specific strategy that he developed on his own. Although the winners were always Protoss or Zerg, second place was always taken by Terran players. So even at the very top level, we thought the balance was pretty solid. I like the variety of player types in GSL. There were those players that really mastered the commonly known strategies that are used by majority of the ladder players online. There were also players that only focused on micro, as well as players that think of their own strategies for that specific round only, or other players that play a more psychological game with their opponent. My coworkers from Canada, as well as my college friends from Canada, seem to enjoy watching GSL, as well as people where I live currently in the US. StarCraft 2 is the core of esports right now, and GSL is the biggest tournament for StarCraft 2. I think there has to be a lot of interest. I hope in 2011, GSL creates the same sort of excitement for esports worldwide. And through this, I hope more tournaments and more opportunities for top gamers form outside of Korea, so that it's not about where you live, but it's more about how skilled you are at playing StarCraft 2. In 2011, we'll try our best to create the best possible balance for the highest worldwide tournaments such as GSL.
Welcome back. That was an awesome interview we just saw there.
That was an
David
awesome
Kim.
interview.
David Kim, of course, as you guys can see, played a huge role in making StarCraft 2 possible. In fact, we used to play in the same channel that David Kim played in StarCraft 1.
I
we
knew
actually played
David
against
VC
David Kim in
for
StarCraft
years
1.
and years and
Yeah.
years. Very good StarCraft 1 player.
So he's a very talented player,
Yeah.
and he did obviously a very good job making StarCraft 2, so we're very happy. We just talked to him backstage, actually, here. Real treat to have him out here. Thank you for coming out here, David Kim. Thank you, Blizzard, for making such an excellent game. Artosis.
Yes.
Not everybody is familiar with how Code S is going to work. You were getting into it a little bit, but we had to see that interview there. Why don't you tell our fans that might not be as familiarized with this process.
All right, well, get out your notebooks and get out your pens because it's more complicated than the last tournaments. Those were just single brackets up to the finals, no double elimination or anything. Very easy to understand. Code S, though, this is going to make a little bit more redundancy in some areas, make it pretty hard to stay in, but at the same time, if you're qualified to stay in, you definitely have that shot. We're going to have groups of 4 to start out in the round of 32, and it's going to be group league play. We're going to have best of ones against each other. And, well, the bottom 2 players go into the up and down matches. I'll get to that later. But the top 2 players will go on to the next round of 16 group leagues. But the bottom 2 players, this is the interesting part, the top 8 from the Code A final tournament are going to have their shot to go against the bottom 16 of Code S. Now, 8 players will go down to Code A from this group of now 8 plus 16 is 24. And they don't pay me to add to
That was close. That was close.
So 8 players from that group of 24 will go down, and the other 16 will stay in Code S or move up to Code S.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting way that they're going to be going about it in this season.
I think it's awesome, the setup they have. It's really exciting, makes for a lot of drama. As you guys can see now on our screen.
Here's our little
Here's our schedule.
Today is Sunday, the 2nd here in Korea. Don't let this fool you if you're not in Korea. It is the Open, and then we're going to have the round of 32 group league going until the 11th. Then we're going to go into the round of 16 group league, then the round of 8. And then we're going to have, well, the Code A preliminaries. That's probably not going to be broadcast. It's going to be just a big open tournament for Code A. Then we're going to have the semifinals, the up and down matches I was just mentioning. And then, of course, the finals. This is the Code S schedule, not the Code A schedule, by the way.
Yeah. So, hold that thought. And now we have the Code A schedule here.
That's right. You're going to see a lot of matches are overlapping on the same days. And it's going to be a little bit different from Code S. Of course, 8 players will have the opportunity to move up. The top 2 players are going to get better groups than other people. So it's really important to get to the finals, not just the top 8. So that's something pretty important. And it looks like it's going to be a very exciting tournament indeed.
Yeah, man, I am amped. Over here you can see the Code S match system, round of 32 to the round of 16 group league, to the round of 8 for the finals, the tournament. And of course, as we were mentioning here, we're going to have these up and down matches, which is just going to be so interesting to see, because then we're not going to have the same people in Code S every single time.
No.
We're still going to have new faces coming in here.
That's right.
Next season. And, and some of these guys are going to be moved out of here. So
definitely.
A lot of drama. Of course, Code A right below Code S here. And wow, we must just be crazy because we're giving away so much money.
That's right. Well, just kind of remove the last 3 zeros and you're going to get the approximate USD equivalents here because it is shown in won. So the prize money for the champions, oh my God, Code S prize for first place is going to be basically $45,000, right around there.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would like that much money.
Yeah. A little bit less than before, but there's a lot more tournaments this year, so that's the way it's going. Here are the groups. Today we're going to be showing you Nestea, Polt Prime, Maka Prime, and the best Foyu. Can Nestea overcome these Terrans? We'll
We're going to find out.
Group B looks really exciting. I'm MVP, Fruit Dealer, Zenio, and Jukujung. Then we have C with Hongun Prime, OGS The Win, Slayers Boxer, and Hyperdub. Group D, TSL Rain, the ever-hated, against Choya, Foyu, Zenix, Kirix, and TSL Trickster. Who is TSL Trickster? What idea is that?
Maybe it's Clyde.
No, he has to be known as Clyde
I don't
forever.
know. I hope he
accept
doesn't
that.
change his name to something else. Because we had an ID change in there.
There he is. There's Clyde in Group G there with
thank
Marine
God.
King, Live Forever, and Legal Mind. Slayers, Legal Mind. In fact, I was wondering who it was that switched over. Legal Mind not doing as well in these more recent seasons. Now we have Rainbow, Lenok Foyu, Genius, and Any Pro in Group E. It's a really nice group. MC, Nada Inca, and San Zenith.
San Zenith.
Luckily, no one there will make any roaches to kill his cannon expansions. And then we have OGS and Snare, Chick Prime, Jinro, and Hydra in Group H. Everyone's waiting for that group, Tasteless.
Yeah, a lot of drama in that group. Of course, Jinro and EG Hydra, my nerd, are both the only non-Koreans in the tournament.
That's right.
So, unfortunately, they were randomly both paired in Group H. So that's going to be tough.
Yeah.
because, of course, if you're watching this stream, chances are you're not a Korean. Or if you are a Korean, you're probably, an English-speaking Korean, maybe living abroad. And, of course, I think all of us who are not Koreans are secretly rooting to see those guys do well. Jinro did very well in Season 3.
Round of 4, man.
I thought he was going to go all the way for a little bit there. He got incredibly far. Idra's been pretty consistent throughout this tournament. He's got a very big reputation here in Korea with the professional gamers out here. A lot of them are still saying he's easily one of the best Zergs in the world. So that's going to be cool to see who makes it through there.
Yes, it is. That is going to be a fun group.
Yes.
But today we are going to have some ZVT action and a lot of TVT action because it's 3 Terrans and a Zerg. The former champion, I'm Nestea. Can he make it through?
I don't know. It's funny because when we started out, if you look at GSL 1, and then we already compare that to GSL 3, I'm referring to seasons, obviously, the style of play was so dramatically different that some of these guys, for instance, Nestea won GSL Season 2, didn't make it that far or as far at least in Season 3. Part of me wonders, is his play style up to pace? Has he kept up with the metagame? Strategies are changing. Everybody's learning more and more and more. Builds are getting more refined.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the big question for him here.
Yeah, as you said, Tasis, the metagame is changing constantly.
Yeah.
Right now, I know a lot of the Zerg players over here are complaining again about Terran and Protoss matchups. Seems to fluctuate like that for a little bit. Zerg's doing really well, and then suddenly everyone's like, I cannot win a game on ladder.
I know a Zerg like that.
Yes, I know a few like that.
Yeah, so, as David Kim said in his interview, they're constantly balancing the game. Clearly the game is pretty balanced considering we've seen
it's
3
close.
Terrans in the finals.
But again, at this, and then the high level, though, it really shows if there's anything a little bit awry.
Yeah.
And, of course, a lot of the difference in how things go, I mean, there's no patches for a long time, and the balance changes several times. That's in the understanding of the matchups.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have, now the Terrans understand this matchup better than, the Protosses. So you have them winning. But
one race gets patched, maybe it's good for that race, but it gets patched in such a way that, then one guy's trying to relearn how to play that, while the other guy might have an easier time. So it's very interesting. And of course, as this game stays out for longer and longer, and things get more and more balanced, the patches will probably slow down.
Oh yeah, I think they
just
already
as we
have,
saw
really.
with they have for sure. So we might probably just like we've seen in StarCraft 1. By the way, special thank you to our sponsors at Sony Ericsson. We love you guys.
Yeah.
And thank you, person at home, for tuning in and joining us here. Artosis and me have been professional gamers for a very long time. And we love commentating this game. We love sharing our passions with you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. And if you're watching this live and you got a friend who's maybe not a real trooper, can't wake up in the middle of the night to watch this or whatever it may be, has a work schedule that conflicts with this, I would implore you to tell them to get our premium package.
It has been cut in price.
Yeah.
Down to, I believe it's $9.95.
You'd have to be crazy not to get that.
It's quite a bargain.
It's quite a deal, considering, if you get like a DVD or something like that, that's incomparable to the amount of hours of footage we're going to be offering you guys. So please encourage them to check that out. You'll have access to those VODs whenever you want. So please do that.
And that's the most important time, time that you want.
And I almost forgot to mention, that money goes to improve the stream. Obviously, the logistics of broadcasting a TV show like this over the internet, we have endless countries tuning in. So that's a little tough to get that all sent out there. So if you buy that, you are actually donating to help us get a bigger, better stream. So please.
That's right. Well, Tasis, I think it is time for us to take a look at the player information.
I think he's right.
It is.
So let's get ready for that to be thrown up on our screen in a minute here. These guys, it's so exciting. All of them so talented. I really can't wait to get these games going.
멈추지 않는 승부여. 완벽한 플레이가 아니면 보여주지 않는다. 스타크래프트2 오픈 시즌2의 우승자 I am Nestea 임재덕.
자, 먼저 임재덕 선수의 보스에 불이 들어왔는데요. 자, 시즌2의 우승 임재덕 선수입니다.
그렇습니다. 저희가 부스를 공중에 설치해서 4명의 선수들이 한 명씩 들어가 있는 상태인데요.
네.
임재덕 선수 코드 S에서 첫 번째 A조로 현재 걸려있는 상태예요. 시즌1 64강, 시즌2에서 우승, 시즌3에선 안타깝게 8강에서 패배를 하고 박성 선수에게 이제 패배를 하고 말았었는데요.
그렇죠.
이번에 코드 S는 반드시 일단 1승을 따내면서 시작하겠다는 생각입니다.
그렇습니다. 추리적인 임재덕 선수 시즌2의 우승 이후 단 한 번도 쉰 적이 없는 노력하는 우승자입니다.
네.
자, 임재덕 선수의 뒤를 이어서 LG에 본대 있는 두 번째 선수를 만나보도록 하죠. 오픈리그 세 시즌 모두 본선에 오른다는 것이 쉽지 않습니다. 그런데 그것을 이루어내고 무난하게 코드에서 확보한 선수가 있죠. 바로 서울대 테란 최성훈 선수입니다.
Our voices are back.
Our mics are back.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
wanted to tell you guys all about.
Quiet, Artosis. The intro starting.
클래식한 전술, 확고한 결단력. 예상치 못한 순간에도 그는 승부수를 띄운다. 엘리트 테란 볼트 프라임 위 최성훈.
All right, we're back. Sorry, Mike's not there for a second. Here is our other player, Polt Prime.
Yeah. Now, Polt Prime, he is a Warcraft 3 switchover. Not really famous in that game, but StarCraft 2 doing pretty well. As you see, Season 1, round of 32, Season 2, round of 64, and then the round of 16 in Season 3.
And as you can see in that picture that we saw on the left, he does sport a turtleneck very well. This guy is a deadly player, a one-base player. At least from what we saw, that could have changed. These guys do mix up their styles.
That's right, and I have to say that even though he wore that turtleneck, he has nothing else in common with the turtle because he likes to attack a lot, as you were
Yeah,
just
well
mentioning.
said, Artosis. You get witty points for that.
Yeah.
눈빛을 보라. 그는 단 한순간도 포기한 적이 없다. 재치 넘치는 플레이. 그리고 이제 남은 목표는 우승. 마카 프라임 위 곽하널.
Now we're back here with Maka Prime.
Now, Mecha Prime, also a Warcraft 3 switchover, probably the best overall.
Yeah, was never actually a pro gamer. Was a competitive player.
Yeah, he was known, but not really well known. See, he got round of 8 in this first season. Expected to do even better than that. And then round of 32, followed up by a round of 16. So, pretty good results overall by Maka. Very good Terran player, considered by many to be the best Terran during the whole beta. And here he is, definitely still a top Terran.
Yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's a very, he's got a very slick style. He did come up with a Macarax, which initially, as we analyzed, we were disagreeing with, and now
Well, it was terrible when they started doing it.
And now it's
Let's
actually
be fair to
quite-
ourselves, Tasis. We were right.
타이밍의 귀재. 복쾌한 승리로 관중을 제압하는 사나이. GSL의 새로운 돌풍을 몰고 올 The Best for You 김찬민.
Here is our final player, the best. Although when we interviewed him, he claimed maybe he's actually not the best on Fuyu.
Yeah.
But a great ID nonetheless. Did not make an appearance in Season 1, but
That's right.
was in Season 2. And as you can see, he did considerably well by the time he got to Season 3.
That is quite correct. A good player. Took out Rhett in the last season, if y'all recall, with some cheesy play. Does like some cheesing, some one-base play from time to time.
Yeah.
But a strong player overall, of course, from the FOU team. One of the greatest teams. They had a great showing in Season 3. Although didn't get a whole lot of players into Code S because they were kind of late to the party. Weren't really many FOU players in the first GSL.
Yeah, that's true. It's an interesting story. We didn't think FOU was going to play much of a role in Season 3, and then they started taking everybody out. We almost thought we were going to see a FOU in the finals. We could here at this GSL Code S. We're moments away from getting our game started.
Mere seconds from excitement.
Are you getting wiggly, Artosis?
I am wiggling and
I'm
jiggling.
wiggling with excitement. Cannot wait. So this is just going to be awesome. Because each of these guys have managed to make it into one or more of the GSL Season 1, 2, or 3s, they have a little bit more stage experience. They have a little bit more, they've had more opportunities to sort of be in the limelight, to have everybody watching them play. So nerves tend to not be as impactful
Yeah.
in this phase of a pro gamer's career. Unlike Season 1, where I think a lot of the blunders we saw were simply put people getting nervous.
Yep. Now, look at this. Very telling. Eliminated maps. Nestea taking out the smallest map. Polt Prime taking out the biggest map. Shows one of them likes micro and one of them likes macro. Or rather, by micro, I mean a little bit more aggressive play.
Yep. A little bit more unit control oriented.
So
our map is going to be Blistering Sands.
Yep. This map, pretty cool for Terran vs. Zerg Tasteless.
It is a dry map, so bring your chapstick and get ready for some awesome action. It is a one-on-one map. There are destructible rocks in the back of your base, thus adding to an extra entrance which can be penetrated. So you want to be very careful to guard that.
Yeah.
And not let them utilize that. We could see all-ins. If it does go into the late game, and we see them both hugging each side of the map, it gets very interesting.
Yeah, if it turns out to be half map, then Terran starts to dominate on this map. But the thing is, taking that third base for Terran can be quite hard. So I would bet my bottom dollar that Polt Prime, I would bet almost anything in the entire world right now that he will attack and try to win off of 1 or 2 bases.
That does
maximum.
not shock me.
I can't imagine Polt Prime trying to go 3 base on this map against Nestea. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
The prophecy has been spoken, and we're going to see if it's going to ring true. Again, Polt Prime is a War 3 guy. He did come from the War 3 scene. Those guys have pretty sick micro, so there's a lot of pretty deadly one-basing stuff you can do. So maybe we'll see it.
Yeah.
Nestea is definitely not a Zerg you want to go up against. He barely was eliminated in Season 3.
Yeah. He almost made it to... Heck, that guy almost won the tournament as far as I'm concerned. He was close.
Well, my senses are tingling Artosis, and I'm thinking we're going to get this game started in just a minute. So get ready for some TVZ action here. A lot of TVZs here today, a lot of TVTs. It should be pretty sick. Brace yourself.
And here we do have...
Over here in the red, our Zerg player, champion of Season 2.
I am Nestea.
No, he is Nestea.
Ooh.
Very talented Zerg player. Now, over here in the upper right, we have our Terran. He's called
Polt Prime Wing.
We have some very different APMs here. 40 against 300 something. I think you can tell which one is a former StarCraft 1 pro gamer.
Yeah, in fairness, though, you don't actually need to have very high APM in the start of StarCraft 1, but in the start of StarCraft 1 or 2. But a lot of these guys, you and me included, tend to pick up our APM right at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So we can keep that tempo going into the late game. It's so cute, though. Sometimes you see these guys, like right when the game started, he had 400 APM.
He's so fast.
He's so fast. I'm
But
like, well, he
just,
actually
like,
only
did.
he actually only did 2 things. He made an SCV. He made 2 SCVs. That's all I did in that minute.
Yeah.
So the rest was spamming. APM, by the way, guys, actions per minute. If you're a nub and you're like, I don't know what they're talking about, it's okay. We're nub friendly. We don't judge.
I hate no.
Until we encounter you on the ladder, and then we bash you. He's like, give me back my ladder points, and I'm like, nope.
Wow. All right, so Nestea going to go hatchery first. We did have that barracks down at the ramp for Polt Prime. Does not look like he's going to double barracks, but he may. That's going to be what we want. Yeah,
Poor
my
guy
voice
going through
breaking.
puberty right now.
Dude, I've done it like 8 times now. When will it end? I want to be a man.
I want to be an adult. Okay, Artosis, this is interesting. 2 SCVs.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to
Hidden
try
racks.
a double bunker at the bottom of the ramp of Nestea.
Well, the Overlord spotted both.
Yeah.
Up.
So he's going to plan some bunkers. There's one bunker. He's trying to do it outside of the range of the hatchery, but of course Nestea, being the smart guy he is, has that Overlord spotting. So I don't know how in the world Polt Prime thinks this is going to work. And already an SCV gone. That's having to be canceled. And this Marine going to come up to harass, but drones are faster than Marines.
Note that even though it looks like Nestea might be down in mining time, you just transfer those drones right to the expansion.
Yep.
And you can see it wasn't exactly like the Terran player put a lot of oomph into that rush.
Yeah.
I don't know. It did put him behind slightly, but
Yeah.
certainly not that impactful in the game. And it looks like now Terran is going to go ahead and expand.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go ahead, take that very fast expansion, but excuse me. I'm so sorry, I have a slight cold.
Got a little cough.
Yeah.
Why are we? One of us is always sick or tosis.
I know.
It's your turn this time around.
Well, we do have a double gas that just went up for Polt, so it looks like he wants to tech up wall expanding. And those Zerglings going to be chased away. But anyways, as I was saying, the fact that he's teching, I would not be surprised at all if you went for a fast siege tank with siege mode, because otherwise some high economy Baneling aggression would be quite good against this build.
Is he going to get in? He almost managed to get in there.
I'm not sure he really wanted to.
I know.
Marines would have ripped those Zerglings apart.
But I believe he did spot the command center.
I
believe so.
Well, you see some Marines just running around, making that into an orbital. Speed on the way, 10 Zerglings as well. And a factory, 2 barracks.
And for the time being, we're going to have to see what Polt has in store. 2 more barracks on the way.
Yep, and he's probably going to want to go down, maybe make a bunker, maybe take an expansion. Up to 27 drones against 23 SCVs.
As you can see in this location, destructible rocks there. If those are destroyed, you can put a command center there, and you're going to get minerals very quickly because it's a gold base.
Yep. Gold bases. Quite awesome. A new add to StarCraft 2.
Yep.
SCV bravely going in to try to scout. He's going to see no gases at the expansion. Not yet. Wait till that dies to make his gas there.
Yeah, that was smart. The expansion's up, and it looks like we're going to have some passive play from both of these guys here pretty soon. Well, I mean, I should just say, for the next, I would say, what, like 4 minutes, probably?
And if we look at the production tab there, we do have siege mode being made and a siege tank, so I was quite right on that. He is going to go ahead and get that up, because otherwise the high economy Baneling aggression would be entirely too good. Now notice that +1 attack is being upgraded for Zerglings. This is actually something that's becoming a little bit more popular right now. We see it more in Zerg versus Protoss if you want to go Zerglings, but I suppose it is doable in this matchup as well. He is going to get that Zergling plus attack upgrade as opposed to the Carapace.
As you can see, the Marine now coming down, he spots it. And this is a smart move here by Nestea. I don't think Nestea actually expects... Oh, nice micro there.
He's just pulling Zerglings back, not letting him die. Dealing damage there as he can. Throw up a little depot wall. Good place to put your depots there, Polt Prime. And the Zerglings notice, oh, there's depots in the way. We really can't do any damage right now. Meantime, Baneling speed is being upgraded, as well as a Spire being made. So pretty standard here. There it is. Baneling speed.
Now, if Nestea gets its gold base up and running and gets drones over there, that's going to force a Terran to move out. He's going to have to attack. You cannot let a Zerg take a gold base and not act.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, once he gets that droned up, the great thing about the gold base is not that it gathers minerals more quickly, because if you have full saturation on normal base, it's very close to the gold. The fact is you need less miners there. That's less supply, less money spent on miners. That's one of the main reasons why gold base is so good, especially for Zerg.
Yeah, that was actually a great point, Artosis. By the way, Aspire's done. And it looks like we got about 2 making right now. I'm sure we'll have more. As you can see, the Zerg has all 4 of his gases taken, and he's actually already, if you can see on the mini-map here, taking these gases currently at the gold base. Meanwhile, turrets on the way. Polt Prime's timing sense quite good.
Double engineering bay, so he's definitely going to want to get some really good upgrades going. So it's going to be just a timing attack. It does look like it may turn into a 2-base timing attack. This is like a really funny wall-in, though. That seems like a longer game wall-in that he is making.
You know, I got to say, if you go double eBay early on, the best thing the Zerg can do is take the gold right away. Terran's not going to attack you quickly. They're going to try to get as many upgrades as they can. Now, with the mutas, one of the goals the Zerg is going to have is to try to force a stim.
Yeah. Force as many stims as you can. If
Yeah.
Polt Prime is really Gosu, he'll only stim a couple Marines.
Yep.
So that's all you need to do. These people that stim every Marine make you sad.
We saw a game with Maka Prime where he stimmed like 40 Marines.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Sad times. Now, notice that Nestea is working on these rocks back here.
If he tears this down, he's going to have access to his opponent's main base. Meanwhile, Terran is now pushing out.
There are some Banelings out in the map. And, well, he's going to have to be very careful with this attack because there can be counterattacks. But at the same time, the Siege Tanks can own up Banelings. So this is going to come down very much to the execution of this Siege Tank Marine push.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot about micro. You do not want to let one of those Banelings hit your Marines. If you lose the Marines, you're basically going to lose the game.
Yeah.
Because the Mutalisks will clean up the rest.
That is right. And here are the Mutas.
He's going to try to force a stim. The Terran doesn't bite.
Very nice by Polt there. Polt moving up his Siege Tanks very quickly. This is a super quick push. Not even leapfrogging right now.
Meanwhile, Banelings are on the way.
So many Banelings.
So many Banelings. And he's sieged up. This is a perfect position to siege.
Yeah, that's really
good. He can
good.
poke this way.
Notice he just brings down a group of Marines to attack into these Spine Crawlers. Going to make him cancel those. And here come the other units to try to kill off the Marines. Thing is, the Siege Tank's going to blow everything up, aside from the units, which the Marines can handle quite simply. So there's a lot of Banelings, but with all those Siege Tanks on the high ground, Nestea could be in trouble here.
Nestea's got to be patient. He's got to keep his cool. You attack too soon and lose too many units, and you lose this game. It could very easily be out of the Code S GSL.
That's right, and a lot of Banelings are going down. A lot of hurt Marines here. They're quite damaged at this point, but the Siege Tank push is going to be very hard to stop. Now, if only Polt Prime had a couple more medevacs in there, this would be much more effective. But as is, he's having a hard time to continue stimming because, well, he's lost a lot of energy. But here comes some more medevacs, some more Marines as well.
No, it looks like he stimmed his Marines there.
For some reason, those back Marines stim.
And this is, again, it's all going to come to whether or not the Terran can bait the Zerg out. The Zerg right now is still using his gold base. So for the time being, the Zerg's in good shape. But once the Siege Tank gets into siege mode, it should be in range of the hatchery. And that's when that might force the Zerg to attack. It almost seems as though the Zerg is actually just going to give up this expansion. No, Mutas come in here to drive the Terran back.
That's right, using those Mutas very well. And the Banelings come down and hit a bunch of Siege Tanks.
And that's going to be it. Nestea's got, no, he does not. Excuse me, I didn't see some more of those Marines from the medevac. He just needs to get a few more Mutas.
There's just too many Marines in the medevacs there. He has to take them out. A ton of Zerglings coming in. The tank splash going to help him kill those off. And the Mutas may be able to clean up this little tank army. Polt Prime, though, he's done a decent amount of damage. Problem is, as I was saying, he was trying to kill off of 2 base.
Yeah.
So he does have the command center up, but he has not even taken yet. Stimming, in fact, to run down here and kill the rocks. I don't know why he stimmed to run down and kill the rocks.
Yeah, that's a little bit overkill.
Yeah, that's way overkill. A little bit weird. But Nestea now, he is free to do as he pleases because Polt Prime did not prepare for the late game.
This SCV's going to be for a surprise. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum-dum. Ah! Oh my God, he got lucky.
And the Zergling's just going to run in here. There's not a lot of missile turrets. They're going after these SCVs. And now he's in at the production facilities killing SCVs off. And Polt Prime's chances of victory are falling as quickly as these poor SCV bodies.
That SCV is just in shock, like, OMG. Can't believe I lived through that.
I know, he lived through the run out as well.
No kidding.
That SCV has seen some stuff, Dasos. Now the Zergling's coming down here to harass these turrets up. The Muta's kind of floating around in the middle. Here comes some Marines down. And a ton of Zerglings coming up. Oh, beautiful by these Zerglings. And
the Terran's basically boxed in right now.
Oh, nice surround. A ton of Mutalisks now, relying heavily upon his upgraded Zerglings, along with a lot of Mutas instead of Banelings. Even though I think some Banelings now would be even stronger than before because he did eliminate so many Siege Tanks.
And of course, Siege Tanks, you can't replenish them quickly.
Yeah.
Usually Terran only has 1 factory.
That's
so
right.
in that first push, if you take out all those Siege Tanks, you're in for a lot of trouble. this command center will most surely be killed, especially because it was going in the wrong direction. Terran overstimming.
Yeah. Running in there a little bit too far, getting surrounded right away, and it looks like Nestea going to be able to clean this up relatively easily. Polt Prime, I think he may be GGing pretty soon. He is so far behind at this point. His 2-base all-in attack really did not set him up for this stage of the game, and you can see as Nestea just peels him apart.
Yeah, Nestea now taking, as you can see in the mini-map, both the top and bottom expansion. Transferring drones are now making money banelings.
Money.
Money banelings.
42 morphing, oh my. That's a lot of banelings, Tasteless. Not
Those
just banelings,
guys-
though, they're speed banes.
Yeah, they are.
Speed banes on creep, that's a scary sight, Tasteless.
Note, the creep is basically spread all the way across the map to the Terran's base. Terran stims again. This just triggers Zerg to attack.
Yep, and
Uh-oh.
that is absolutely sick. This is going to be it. There's no way that Polt Prime can really stay in this game. Baneling's just flowing into his base. Not even sure what those Banelings are going for at this point. Just chilling.
They're tired, man. They've been
Taking
running.
a look. GG. And Nestea, after killing that first attack off from Polt Prime, you know, Polt Prime just invested in that attack so much. I almost do want to call it an all-in, because the fact that it did not work, it did not do the crucial damage that would win him the game. You see how late that third command center was? That is not going to set you up right to deal with Nestea's late game on 3 days.
I mean, it's just a standard 2-base timing push. If that 2-base timing push doesn't work, there's usually not a lot you can do. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
He didn't expand with the push. He invested all his money into making more Marines. Did not work. And Nestea is going to move on, at least for this part.
For this part.
I just said he's going to move on because we've casted so many previous GSLs where that actually means they're going to move on. But we're in a group stage right now. But Nestea is probably feeling pretty good, pretty safe right now. Artosis. We're going to start our second game in a little bit here.
Macca Prime versus the best Foyu.
TVT.
It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
A Macca Prime, I definitely like him more than the best Foyu as far as fanboyism goes. Macca has some really cool ways that he plays.
Yeah.
Really has learned the macro better than most Warcraft 3 players that switched over. Concentrated on that a lot during the beta, and it really shows now. Had some great games in the GSL last season, whereas Season 2 he was a little bit off, but I'm feeling it for Macca. I think he can maybe take down the best.
Well, I'm curious because Macca was around since the start of the beta. He's here in Codas now. When you consider how long the beta's been out, if you start the life of StarCraft from where the beta was to now, that's a pretty legitimate amount of time to be on top.
Yeah.
So Macca, he's got a pretty good chance. The best Foyu, though, Foyu is a pretty deadly team. Certainly not the kind of team you want to face early on in a tournament. They really impressed us in Season 3 of the GSL pre-Codas. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're very strong, and they're such a tightly knit team that the best Foyu is going to have great practice partners.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's going to have anyone that he wants to play against on his team, which is just full of top-notch, almost Codas, a lot of Code A players. And that's going to make him pretty fearsome. If you look at the prime lineup for Terrans, doesn't impress me quite as much. There's there's Polt Prime, but realistically his Terran versus Terran probably isn't at the same notch as Macca Primes.
One thing about Terran versus Terran in StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 is it's a lot about positioning. It's a lot of both these guys take up so much of the map. It's very different from Warcraft 3, which I think Macca has more experience with. So that's one thing to just kind of keep in mind. It's a very different matchup.
Yeah.
All your pieces all over the board. Usually within the first 10 minutes, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm excited though. Terran vs. Terran. In StarCraft 2, it really does remind me of StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar. So
get ready.
There he is.
There he
Prime.
is. Macca Prime. Macca probably the most, or at least one of the most notable players on Prime.
Yeah. Well, here we see the maps they took out. Delta Quadrant for Macca Prime. Jungle Basin for the best Foyu. Interesting maps for them both to take out. Both those play very strangely in Terran vs. Terran, so reasonably good selection, I think. They're going to be playing, though, on Metalopolis, probably the best map in the pool overall. So, should be pretty awesome. I like Terran versus Terran matchups on this map.
Macca Prime, you got to wake up, man. What are you doing, Yon? And he's like, oh, I was just taking a little nap. I guess I'm going to own the GSL. Let's see if it's true. That was a very cocky thing of you to say, Macca.
Yes, it was.
You're a cocky guy, Macca. I can't believe you just said that. Wow. Some of these players, man, attitude.
I know it, especially that Macca Prime kid.
Macca Prime guy is just out of control. Actually, he's a really nice guy. He's got kind of a quirky personality, actually.
He's definitely goofy.
He's a goofy guy. I like him.
I like him a lot,
He's
man.
funny.
He is.
One of my
He's really
favorite
nice.
people to talk to backstage.
Superb English.
Yeah.
Superb English.
We don't have to use our Korean. We can use our English.
Yeah. No.
He's like, wow, you guys are so good at English. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
So are you.
So are you.
Not as good as us, but
No.
you're still really good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're going to get this game going momentarily. I can't wait. TBT, fascinating matchup.
It is. It is. There's a lot of tempo in it.
Yes.
There's a lot of different tech paths you can
And
take to reach the
It
same
takes
goals.
a lot of patience.
It does.
It's not a matchup where, I mean, if you might be behind and out of position for like 8 to 10 minutes.
This
and
is
you,
very
You
true.
actually got to be like, okay, I am going to wait for that right moment
yeah,
to attack.
you have to know your exact spots.
Yeah.
If you attack wrong even one time, it can turn the game around no matter how far ahead you were.
A player who can't keep his cool will lose TBT quite quickly because he won't be patient. He won't get himself out of position. But with guys this quality, I'd expect a longer game. Get ready.